Hello Ice and Fire Nerds, this is Chris and this is going to be my Game of Thrones Season 6 Episode 6 Blood of My Blood breakdown. And I'll say right off the bat, this was a great episode. This story is moving forward really fast now. We got a lot of big reveals, we had a lot of big decisions made, and we also had a lot of questions come up with Bran's visions. But I did a separate video on the visions, so I'll leave a link in the description below as well as an annotation at the end of this video for that. So let's go ahead and break down the rest of the episode. So let's jump right in like a dire wolf into a pack of whites. So again, I did a separate video on the visions that Bran had and what I think they mean overall as far as his story going forward, so check that out. So we did open up in the beginning north of the wall, and Mira is still trying to save Bran. They were about to die, and a mysterious figure comes and saves the day, and I'll get back to that in just a few minutes. And we go to Horn Hill, and Sam and Gilly are headed there to meet the parents. They get ready to have a big meal, and Gilly gets all dolled up. Damn, girl. Damn! And Sam's mom's all lovey-dovey and nice, and his brother seems cool, and his sister seems cool. But Randall Tarley now, he's a straight-up dick. He makes Tywin Lannister look like a Boy Scout. So anyway, Randall finds out that Gilly's a wildling and berates Sam the entire dinner, and Gilly stands up to him saying, look, he saved my life more than once. He killed a White Walker. They don't believe shit stinks. But he points out Heartsbane on the wall. Now, Heartsbane is one of about 7 Valyrian steel swords in this story. So after their pleasant dinner, Sam's about to head out the next morning, but decides, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna take you, Gilly, with me and the baby, and I'm gonna steal my damn father's sword, Heartsbane, and we getting the hell up out of here. Now, Sam still headed to the Citadel to become a maester, or did he just break his vows and say, you know what, fuck it, let's just go live a life somewhere, and I got a Valyrian steel sword to protect us, and we're going to try to make it work, girl. Now, as far as Heartsbane goes, a lot of people have been asking about a certain other Valyrian steel sword that we may have seen in this episode, although I don't know if they'll name it, but I'll get to that in just a few minutes as well. And then we go to King's Landing, and as I've said in the past few videos, Tommen has now turned to the dark side. The conversion process began when he first went to see the High Sparrow. This is exactly what he wanted. The Tyrell army comes in led by Jar Jar Binks, and Jaime's kind of leading those guys, and they say, you know what, Marjorie will never walk down these stairs. We're here for Marjorie and Loras Tyrell, and if not, we're gonna kill every sparrow up in this place. Now here's the thing, Marjorie's still playing this game. I don't really believe yet that she's buying into the High Sparrow shit. I think she's playing him as well as Tommen. Otherwise, there would be no reason for her to go see Loras in the cell in the previous episodes and her to be like, just stay strong, stay strong. She realized she had to come up with a plan there. It was just too perfect of a plan there when Tommen walks in and she's reading out of the Satanic Bible, and it just seems like she's this new woman. But during the whole setup of the Walk of Atonement, before everybody got the surprise of Tommen walking out with his new Kingsguard with their 7-pointed star armor, she kind of had a smirk on her face more than once. So I don't think she's really buying into the High Sparrow shit. I just think she's playing him and she's playing Tommen. So now what we have is a theocracy, and those always work so damn well. And I've said before, this is what the High Sparrow wanted. Now the crown is officially tied to the faith, and now they're going to remake the 7 kingdoms in the light of the 7. So after the big shock of Tommen walking out, Tywin gets what he wanted the entire time. Too bad he's dead now, because Jaime gets kicked out of the Kingsguard just like Barristan Selmy. And he is now being sent to Riverrun, and what this is going to do is set the Riverrun plotline where he runs into Brienne again. So we're finally going to see Bronn again in this series, because he's just been MIA this entire 6 episodes, and they're going to head to the Riverlands to try to retake Riverrun, although I'm not sure it's going to quite end up that way. Let me just say, in the books, Jaime is completely done with Cersei at this point, but now Cersei and Jaime seem to be back together again a little bit in the show. They had to get some twin sets on one more time. So it will be interesting to see Jaime run into Brienne again and see if his feelings really have changed. And when he was telling Cersei all this, there was a very interesting line here that I thought stood out to me, and that was, we have always been together and we will always be together. So I think when one goes down, so will the other. Basically right now in King's Landing is Cersei versus the world, because her son is now joined with the faith, and of course everybody has to listen to the king as far as the armies go. She's not in a very good spot, and it's going to be really interesting to see this supposed trial by combat coming up, because she thinks she's all good because she has Franken Mountain, but it's going to be interesting to see who the faith brings out. And then we head to Bravos, and Arya watches the play for the 5th or 6th time, and she is realizing, you know what, I don't really want to kill this woman. She's a good woman. She's reliving these events that she's missed in King's Landing. She did enjoy the part where Joffrey died, but she goes backstage, she poisons the rum that the lady was going to drink. She ends up running into the lady and having a chat with her, and she can kind of identify with her because she's playing this game of faces as well, being an actress. And Arya realizes, you know what, I can't do this shit. She don't deserve to die, because the person that wants her dead is just this other actress back here that thinks she's better than her, and she happens to be playing Sansa. And she comes back and she knocks the rum out of her hand right before she drinks it, and it even tells her, this girl wants you dead. So her choice is made. The waif was there watching with her bad haircut, and Arya goes and finds Needle again. And I was waiting for this. It finally happened. Her choice is made. She's not going to be a faceless man, but the waif goes back to Jaqen, and Jaqen says, don't let her suffer. So apparently they had agreed if she failed this test, which I said it was, that the waif is going to try to kill her. So Arya is coming back home and the waif's going to get her hair cut one way or the other. So then we go to the twins and we see Walder Frey the first time since the Red Wedding. And this old bastard, man, he's still a piece of work. He's ratting on his kids here for letting Riverrun be taken, so that does kind of confirm that the Blackfish is taking Riverrun back. But I got to admit, Walder Frey is a funny old geezer. But he says, go back and take that castle back, you damn idiots, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to show him the knife we used to cut Catelyn's throat. You're going to show him the knife we used to kill Robb Stark. And here's our little bargaining chip. And he brings out Edmure Tully. That's right, Edmure Tully was been hostage this entire time. If you guys don't remember, he's the one that actually got married at the Red Wedding, and he got taken off to the bedding ceremony at the wedding, so he kind of missed the main course. So he's going to be used as a bargaining chip against the Blackfish Brynden Tully, which of course is Catelyn's uncle. So it's about to go down, and let's bring on some Frey pie. Please use spoiler tags. So we go back north of the wall where Bran and Meera are camping out, and we have our second big reveal, and that is this mysterious figure who saved them in the beginning of the episode ended up being, yes, Benjen Stark. He's back, but he's also a little different. They did decide in the show, at least, to go with the Cold Hands Benjen hybrid. I'm not sure if we're going to call him Cold Ben or Ben Hands or whatever, but either way, Benjen's back. He seems to be basically himself, although he just died temporarily. So apparently what happened is he got stabbed by a White Walker with his ranging party, and of course the other guys that was with him was the ones who came back and tried to kill Lord Commander Mormont that Jon saved him from when he burned his hand, and that's what he got Longclaw for. And how did he get saved? Well, apparently the Children of the Forest found him and did the same thing they did to the man that created the first Night King and shoved a piece of dragon glass in his heart. So somehow that overcame the magic of him turning into a white, and he knows who he is and who he was, and he is going by Benjen because Bran immediately recognizes him when he takes off his mask, except he's got a few acne blemishes there. There was a little shout out to the books because Bran is like, you know what, I don't really know what I'm doing, I don't know everything yet, I'm not ready. And Benjen's actually bleeding a rabbit here and brings a cup of rabbit blood to him. Now in the books, when Bran is learning visions and green sight and all that good stuff, he does eat a paste that seems to have blood in it, and this was after Jojen died, so some people refer to this as Jojen paste. But apparently it's supposed to help awaken your mind like taking the red pill. So we have the big Benjen reintroduction. It was really cool to see him after 5.5 damn seasons. Apparently he's been hanging out with Bloodraven this whole time. He seems to know a lot about what Bran's seen even recently, so he doesn't have that power, but apparently Bloodraven's been filling him in. And I didn't mention this in my Bran's Visions breakdown video, but now thinking back to the visions Bran had where we saw some ravens in the visions, I'm wondering if this is some kind of connection to Cold Hands, because Benjen did say, the three-eyed crow called out to me, and of course Bloodraven's dead, so perhaps they have some kind of connection there, because now Bran is the three-eyed raven. He basically says, now you're the last Greenseer, Bran, and this is what you got to do. And he basically says eventually the Night's King will find his way to the world of men, and you will be there waiting for him. And on top of that, you got to be ready. And I also think it's okay for them to do this hybrid Cold Hands Benjen character because it only makes sense in the show at least. Where else would Benjen have been the entire time? I mean, he couldn't have been camping and surviving on his own that entire time. So it makes sense that he has been working for Bloodraven. Perhaps he's been hanging out in the cave or somewhere nearby. It's hard to say if the warding spell that was on the cave before the White Walkers attacked worked on him. The Children of the Forest did use the magic to overcome the White Walker magic, but that begs the question, why did it work with Benjen and not turn him into a White Walker like it did the original Night King? Maybe they modified their spells and shit. And also during this Benjen scene, it was very interesting here. If you look here against this damn tree, there's a sword there. Now we saw Meera grab a sword when they were escaping the White Walkers in the previous episode when Hodor died. I don't know if they'll name it here, but this could very well be Dark Sister. Now Dark Sister is another Valyrian steel sword that Bloodraven used to carry around when he was Brynden Rivers. This was one of the House Targaryen ancestral swords, and it just happened to be carried by Brynden Rivers, aka Bloodraven, before he became the Three-Eyed Crow. Apparently he took it with him after being handed the king and being sent to the wall, so it would make sense for it to be in the cave with Bloodraven after all these years, so perhaps we have another Valyrian steel sword right there in Meera's hands. Now this sword is one of two House Targaryen ancestral swords, originally carried by Visenya Targaryen, sister wife to Aegon the Conqueror, the first Targaryens to come over and conquer Westeros in the first place. So again, I don't know if they'll name this in the show or even if it is Dark Sister, but I think it would be pretty damn cool to learn the fate of Dark Sister, and it's sitting right there against that damn tree because they very well may need it on their way to the wall. And finally we head over to Vas Dothrak, or close to it, as they're on their way back to Meereen. Dany and Daario stop and have a little chat about her being a conqueror, and what's funny here is they're having a chat about how many ships they will need to head back to Westeros with all this, new Khalasar she has, plus the Unsullied, plus the Second Sons, and this entire massive army she has now amassed. Daario said they need about 1,000 ships. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the last episode somebody said they're going to build 1,000 ships, and of course there's already a couple hundred at least heading over to see Dany, and that of course is going to tie into the Euron/Ironborn storyline. That wasn't obvious at all. Anyway, Dany seems to sense something up ahead. She says, stay here, I'll be right back. But of course we hear Drogon in the background. He comes flying up, and this motherfucker is big, and this time Dany's on his back. She has down found Drogon and mounted him, so it's official. She no longer needs a horse. and she lands Drogon right in front of the Khalasar. You can see how big he is based off her size on his back, and as if being unburnt wasn't enough, in the last episode, she gives this massive speech on the back of Drogon and says, I pick you all to be my blood riders instead of just 3 of you. Will you all come with me, cross the poison water on wooden horses? Will you kill my enemies in metal suits and knock down their stone houses? And they're all like, hell yeah, we'll follow you. I mean, we ain't got much choice. You got a damn dragon sitting in front of us. So now she's going to head back to Meereen, probably ahead of the rest of them, although they'll probably all get there at the same time with their magical teleporting abilities. She's probably going to do a flyby by the pyramid in Meereen and blow the windows out like we saw in the teaser. So I thought it was pretty damn cool, although unnecessary since she's already walked out of a burning hut alive. She's officially now like Aegon the Conqueror, her original ancestor that came over and conquered Westeros in the first place with 3 dragons. We just got to figure out what's going on with Rhaegal Viserion. Anyway, guys, that's all I had. It was a pretty straightforward episode. Wasn't a lot of real hidden meanings here, except for the whole Bran Visions, but again, I did that separate video on that and kind of broke that down from what I think it means, so be sure to check that out. Let me know in the comments what you think about this episode. Did you dig Benjen coming back? Did you dig Edmure coming back? And also, what about Dany mounting Drogon and now no longer needing a horse? She's officially a conqueror now. She can fly around apparently whenever she wants. And also, I will be doing another Q&A again this week. Be sure to leave your questions in the comments below, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, you can click here for the video I just talked about, which is the Bran Visions video for episode 6, and what I think they mean and what I think Bran needs to do with all that information. And you can also click here on the last Q&A I did with James from Daily Use of Sports Trivia, and I talked about episode 5 as well as discussed episode 6, and a few of those things came true as well. So check those out, let me know what you think. As always, you guys, thanks for all the support. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.